Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about filters in CSS. So let's get started. So let's go to the documentation on MDN, and here it is. So the filter CSS property applies graphical effects like blur or color shift to an element. Okay, so here are some of the examples, something like blur, contrast, grayscale, and so on, and we will look all of them in this video. So what we can do, we can go to our code editor here, and let's just get rid of this owl image and do something like this. Okay, bg1, and here it is. Now what we can do, can just increase the height to 900 as well. And what we can do, basically we can do background size to cover. Okay, hit save and go to the browser, and here it is. Okay, our nice image. All right, so one thing to point out here, like the background size property in the shorthand syntax will not work unless or until you are providing the background position as well. Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. That is why I have separated it out. Okay, now what we can do, we can add a filter, and then we can do blur of something like 5 pixel, something like that. Now what we are seeing currently right now is that our image is blurry, as well as the content also is blurry, right? So the filter is applied to the whole element. Okay, so if I just go here, okay, there are this blur. So the blur applies a Gaussian blur to the input image. Okay, all right, then we have the brightness as well, and I use the brightness quite often. If I just go here and do a button, okay, button, and do something like click me, something like this, and let's provide the button some styles. So add the background color to blue violet. Okay, so do a color of white and do a height of something like 20 pixel. Okay, and do something like border to none and outline to none as well. Okay, so if I just go ahead here, here is our button. Okay, let me just change the button height or change the font size as well. Font size to something like 4 rem. Okay, and do a padding of top and bottom of 2 rem, left and right of 4 rem. Okay, so our button will be a huge button. All right, so let me just grab that, and let's not add the height. Okay, all right, so here is our button, and then what we can do, while hovering on that button, we want to add some effects, right? So what I can do, I can do here margin top of 1 rem. Okay, so let's do button and then colon hover, and here we can add a filter to that. So filter of brightness, and we can set some percentage here. So if I just set to 100%, okay, hit save here, so nothing will happen. Okay, but if I just add something like 120% here, and now if I just hover over onto the button, as you can see, the color is changing. I can do let's do 200% and see what happens. So if I just do that, so as you can see, the total color is getting changed. Or we can do something like 80% as well, so the color will be darkened. Okay, so this is the filter which is for brightness. Then we have the contrast as well. So here we have this one, right? So let's do contrast, and inside of the contrast, as you can see, it also takes percentage. So let's do 200% once again, percent. Okay, hit save and go to our browser. Right now it is super contrasty. The image is getting very contrasty, right? So this is the contrast. We can just change it to something like 80% as well, so that it will be very less contrasty right now. Okay, so this is the contrast. Then we have the drop shadow as well. So I will just copy this one. Okay, so we have this drop shadow one as well. So if I just add that, so the drop shadow takes some values, some pixel values, and the color as well. So if I just go here, as you can see, so here it is applied the shadow, applies the parameter shadow as a drop shadow. Okay, so if I just go here, as you can see, we have a nice drop shadow. Okay, it is quite similar to the box shadow which we have, right? The syntax is similar to the box shadow. Okay, then what we have then grayscale. So let's do that. So let's do something like grayscale and just add it here. So if I just add that, then our image will get grayscaled, right? So here is a black and white image. Now we can add different filters altogether as well. So here we have added the grayscale, then we can add the contrast as well. And let's do 150% maybe. Okay, so if I just save that, now both of the filters are getting applied. So we can add multiple filters in that way. Then we have the hue-rotate. So let's do this. I'll just copy that and paste it down here. Okay, hue-rotate. So it will rotate the hue basically. Okay, so now our image has some different colors. Okay, so this is the hue-rotate. Then we have the invert as well. So let's do that. Okay, so let's do invert. 100%. So our colors will be inverted all together. Okay, so here it is. Then we have the opacity filter. So this one is quite good and we use that quite often. So let's do filter and then do opacity of 50%. Okay, so now our image has the opacity of 50%, and also not only our image but also the text as well. So the filter is applied to the image as well as the text. So it is not confined to background only. Okay, but what happens if I just set opacity to 0? If I just do that, now everything is gone. It is not gone from the website. Basically, we can still do some of the things. If I just open the developer tools, here it is. We have the box, right? But we are not able to see the box at all because the opacity is set to 0. Okay, all right. Then what we have the saturate as well. Let's do that. So it will add the saturated colors. Okay, so let's do that. So our colors are now a bit more saturated. Okay, then we have the sepia. Okay, so if I just do that, if I just do that and hit save and go to here, so the colors are changing as well. Okay, so here it is. And yeah, these are all of the filters which we have. So there are a bunch of filters which we have covered and which are awesome basically if we want to create some sort of an graphical effects inside of our website, we can use filters to do that.